Behind the dazzling smile of Broadway star Marilyn Miller, an American theatrical icon, lay a life veiled in secrets. Was she truly Ziegfeld's muse, or a victim of his ambition? Today we explore her rise from vaudeville to musical theatre fame, her hidden struggles, and the tragic end that shocked early 20th century entertainment, as we remember her life and help to keep her memory alive. September 1st, 1898, Evansville, Indiana. A tiny baby girl arrives. But this wasn't just any birth. It was the start of Marilyn Miller's story, a girl who'd go on to light up Broadway. Born to a humble telephone lineman, Edwin D. Reynolds, and his first wife, the former Ada Lynn Thompson, her destiny was far from ordinary. 4 years old and already a performer, Marilyn Miller, a tiny blonde with a big stage presence, debuted as Mademoiselle Sugarlamp in her family's vaudeville act, the Columbian Trio, at Lakeside Park in Dayton, Ohio. The family's vaudeville act, initially the Columbian Trio with stepfather Oscar Caro Miller and older sisters Ruth and Claire, transformed. When young Marilyn and her mother, Ada Lynn Thompson, joined the routine, the act was renamed the Five Columbians, boosting their popularity and setting the stage for Marilyn's future stardom. From their Findlay, Ohio home, the Five Columbians embarked on a decade-long adventure, touring the Midwest and Europe. They cleverly avoided child labor laws, performing until 1914, when Lee Shubert spotted Marilyn Miller at London's Lotus Club, changing her life forever. In New York City, Marilyn Miller took the stage for the Shuberts. She starred in The Passing Show, 1914 and 1915, at the Winter Garden Theatre, and then in The Show of Wonders, 1916, and Fancy Free, 1918, building her reputation on Broadway. But it was Florence Ziegfeld who truly ignited Marilyn Miller's stardom. In 1918, at Manhattan's New Amsterdam Theatre on 42nd Street, she shone in his Ziegfeld Follies with music by Irving Berlin, launching her to new heights. On the same stage as Eddie Cantor, Will Rogers, and W.C. Fields, Marilyn Miller stole the show. Her hilarious impersonation of Billie Burke, Ziegfeld's wife, in Mine was a marriage of convenience, had the audience roaring with laughter. The next year, in the 1919 Follies, Marilyn Miller headlined, dancing to Berlin's Mandy, and rumors, never confirmed, swirled about a romance with Ziegfeld. Then, in 1920, came Sally, with Jerome Kern's music. This role, especially her iconic performance of Look for the Silver Lining, made her a legend. The story of a dishwasher who joins the Follies and finds love ran for an impressive 570 shows at the New Amsterdam. In 1921, before she was famous, Dorothy Parker captured Marilyn Miller's magic in a poem. From the alley's gloom and chill, up to fame danced Sally, which was nice for her, but still, rough upon the alley. How it must regret her wiles, all her ways and glances. Now the theatre owns her smiles, Sally's songs and dances. After a falling out with Ziegfeld, Marilyn Miller made a bold move, signing with rival producer Charles Dillingham. She then took on the iconic role of Peter Pan in a 1924 Broadway revival, followed by a starring role as a circus queen in Sunny, 1925, with music by Kern and lyrics by Oscar Hammerstein. Featuring the unforgettable Who, Sunny became a huge hit, making her Broadway's highest-paid star. Back with Ziegfeld in 1928, Marilyn Miller starred in the hit Gershwin musical Rosalie. Then, in 1930, she paired with Fred Astaire in Smiles, a rare Ziegfeld flop at the box office. Marilyn Miller's magic didn't fully translate to the silver screen. Her movie career, brief compared to her stage success, included only 3 films. Adaptations of her Broadway hits Sally, 1929, and Sunny, 1930, and Her Majesty Love, 1931, alongside W.C. Fields. Returning to her roots, her final Broadway triumph was As Thousands Cheer, 1933 to 1934, a groundbreaking musical by Irving Berlin and Moss Hart, where she graced the stage in the iconic Easter Parade number, marking her farewell performance. In 1936, a dramatic turn. Marilyn Miller left her show. This decision came after her boyfriend and future husband, Chester O'Brien, a chorus dancer and assistant stage manager, was fired. His offense? Allowing Jimmy Donahue, a Woolworth heir, to slip on stage during a scene where Miller impersonated his cousin, heiress Barbara Hutton. After Marilyn Miller's passing, that backstage incident sparked inspiration for Irving Berlin. He used it as the basis for the film musical On the Avenue, earning him a script credit alongside his songwriting. At the time of her death, she was described as being retired. Marilyn Miller's stage name was a crafted persona. Miller came from her stepfather, Oscar Caro Miller. Marilyn was a blend of her birth name, Mary, and her mother's middle name, Lynn. She originally went by Marilyn, but at Florence Ziegfeld's suggestion, she dropped the extra N. Decades later, Marilyn Miller's influence echoed in Hollywood. In the late 1940s, Norma Jean Baker, later Marilyn Monroe, adopted her iconic name. Ben Lyon, a casting director at 20th Century Fox and former co-star of Miller in Her Majesty Love, saw a striking resemblance. Interestingly, in a twist of fate, when Norma Jean, as Marilyn Monroe, married playwright Arthur Miller in 1956, she was then legally named Marilyn Miller. Marilyn Miller's first marriage, to actor and acrobatic dancer Frank Carter, began on May 24, 1919, at New York City's Church of the Ascension. Tragically, their union was short-lived, as Carter died in a car accident in Cumberland, Maryland, on May 9, 1920. His memory lived on through portrayals by Gordon MacRae in the biopic Look for the Silver Lining, and Walter Willison in Ziegfeld, The Man and His Women. Marilyn Miller's second marriage to Jack Pickford, brother of Mary Pickford, was a difficult chapter. They married in 1922, but the union quickly deteriorated, plagued by Pickford's substance abuse. By 1926, they separated. Miller's attempt to divorce in Paris in the spring of 1927 backfired when her public comments about the ease of French divorce angered the Paris tribunal, halting her petition. Undeterred, she filed again in Versailles that July, and that tribunal granted the divorce in November 1927, ending the abusive marriage. Marilyn Miller's third husband was Jack Donahue, a dancer who later found success as a director and choreographer in theater, film, and television. It's important to note that this Jack Donahue is distinct from Jack Donahue, her co-star in Sunny and Rosalie. Marilyn Miller found her fourth husband in Chester O'Brien, a chorus dancer. They married on October 4, 1934, in Harrison, New York. Though Miller was significantly older and reportedly spent over $56,000 on him, they found companionship. Later, under the professional name Chet O'Brien, he established a successful career as a Broadway stage manager, contributing to productions like Brigadoon and Finian's Rainbow. Notably, He also served as a stage manager and actor on Sesame Street, from its 1969 debut until 1992. In 1930, Marilyn Miller's romantic life took another turn with a brief engagement to Michael Farmer, who later became known as one of Gloria Swanson's husbands. Then, in 1932, she announced plans to marry Dawn Alvarado, but those plans ultimately fell through, and the wedding never took place. Marilyn Miller struggled with chronic sinus infections, and her health was further weakened by a growing dependence on alcohol. In mid-March 1936, she was admitted to New York's Doctors' Hospital, suffering from both a nervous breakdown and a severe sinus condition. In late March, Marilyn Miller's health took a critical turn, as a toxic condition brought her to the edge of death. She displayed remarkable resilience, rallying after treatment that included 3 blood transfusions. But tragically, her recovery was short-lived, and she passed away on April 7, 1936, at the age of 37. Marilyn Miller's farewell was a grand, somber affair. Her funeral at St. Bartholomew Church on Park Avenue drew an estimated 2,500 to 3,000 mourners, a gathering of luminaries including former Mayor Jimmy Walker, Beatrice Lillie, and Billy Burke. An additional 5,000 people lined the streets, paying their respects as the procession made its way to Woodlawn Cemetery in the Bronx, where she was laid to rest. Marilyn Miller's legacy lives on, even in stone. A statue depicting her as Sunny graces the former I. Miller Shoe Company building in Times Square, a lasting tribute sculpted by Alexander Sterling Calder. This statue, one of 4 representing theatrical greats, was restored in 2013, rescuing it from years of neglect. Her influence also extends into the realm of poetry, with Patti Smith dedicating a poem titled Marilyn Miller in her 1972 book, Seventh Heaven. Marilyn Miller's story has been retold in various forms, keeping her memory alive. In 1949, June Haver portrayed her in the biopic Look for the Silver Lining. Judy Garland also played Miller in Till the Clouds Roll By, MGM's tribute to Jerome Kern. Her tumultuous relationship with Ziegfeld was dramatized in the 1978 Emmy-winning TV movie Ziegfeld, The Man and His Women, with Pamela Pedden as Miller. Rare footage of her from the 1929 Sally film adaptation features in the 2004 PBS documentary Broadway, The American Musical. Warren G. Harris's 1985 biography, The Other Marilyn, solidified her legacy, calling her Ziegfeld's most dazzling star, and the Jazz Age's premier musical comedy star, highlighting her unmatched blend of talents. He adds, she had rivals who may have been better dancers, singers, actresses, or mimics, but no one individual could equal her when it came to combining all those talents. Thanks so much for tuning into today's video. I post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell to catch every episode where we dive into the celebrity afterlife.